Welcome to the beautiful city of Los Perdidos. Now strip down to your underpants and drive over some zombies with the roller hole. Dead Rising 3 takes the series to California, its zombie-slaying playground split across 4 hefty districts. The game's colour palette is certainly a little duller than the first 2 games, but this is still a flamboyant adventure about smacking undead monsters with comedy weapons. The key is in the combinations, with new hero Nick Ramos able to combine items anywhere in the world, provided you know the recipe, and scattered around the city are 101 blueprints for these combination weapons. This world is tantalisingly stuffed with opportunities to bludgeon, slice and splatter densely populated undead hordes. And while there's not exactly a shortage of zombies in video games, rarely do you get the novelty of dismembering the walking dead with an electric hammer while wearing go-go boots and a kinky sci-fi outfit. These kooky, chaotic weapons are easily the stars of the game, and everyone will have their favourite. There are dozens of cool examples, including combination vehicles. As for Nick, he's a mechanic with a mysterious tattoo looking to escape the city by cobbling together a plane. While this is a game packed with cutscenes, Dead Rising 3 largely ignores Nick's character arc until later on, where the game reintroduces many of the characters and unanswered narrative threads from previous games.
You could probably make more of these out on the road now that you know what you're doing.
But the real focus is on its large, varied arsenal and massive body count. With far less of a focus on bringing the city's survivors to safety than in previous games, Dead Rising 3 is all about combat and exploration, with many collectibles scattered around the world. But this does mean some of the series' unique elements have been lost in the process. Many of the game's missions also lack the eccentricity and charm of the previous games, though the main incentive behind these acts of benevolence remains the same. Perform jobs for survivors, or clear away packs of zombies gathered around randomly generated NPCs, and you'll rack up huge amounts of prestige points, which levels up Nick and expands his abilities and moveset. And on normal mode, Dead Rising 3 trims away the series' restrictions on saving and time. There's ample time to accomplish everything, which makes the game a lot more accessible. But the exhausting panic of having to always be in 3 places at once still exists in the game's nightmare mode, giving veteran players the added thrill of accomplishing a far more difficult task, but only if they want it.
I really want to shoot you. You seem like an okay guy.
Thanks.
Okay, let's go.
And the series' somewhat juvenile humour also survives the transition, though the tongue-in-cheek nature of the game ultimately has enough heart to be endearing. Some jokes do certainly fall flat, however, and this is a scruffy game that lacks finesse in both its technical execution and overall direction.
Adorable, I do so love a hero wannabe.
It's also impossible to avoid the game's performance issues. Dead Rising 3's frame rate is extremely choppy, the pop-in is really noticeable, and I encountered many other occasional bugs. The game's audio often cut out. I had survivors getting stuck on scenery, and at one point I fought an enemy whose mohawk kept popping in and out of existence. The incorporation of a batch of ultimately useless Kinect voice commands doesn't exactly improve the experience either. But you'll probably forgive some of these bugs the first time you jump and attack at the same time with a bladed weapon, which slices a zombie in half, before running around gleefully repeating the move for the next 5 minutes. And another player can also jump into the game as Dick for some co-op carnage, with many of the game's vehicles at their best when a second player hops aboard. Dead Rising 3 can be an inconsistent experience, marred by performance issues, and this is very much a game hindered by a lack of mission variety. But I ultimately chose to ignore the game's peculiarities and play Dead Rising 3 in the spirit that I believe it's intended, running around in a shark outfit, shooting zombies with deadly dildos fired from a leaf blower.